All right, all right. Look like we alive. We alive. Georgia Southern takes care of business, dominates Maine 45-17. And I know that doesn't look like it was a dominant game in the beginning, but it turned out to be a dominant game in all. So I am somewhat I'm satisfied. I will say that. That's basically what it is. That's what it comes to. So I'm basically just satisfied with the result. I'm not necessarily happy. I am satisfied with the result, and we're going to talk about this and give you my thoughts and opinions on it. Let me put this up on X so people know what we're doing, and we're just going to go. All right, so we are good to go. So we are live. We are live. We are ready to go. I want to say this. Look, this game did not look good in the beginning. It was very sloppy. Drop passes. OJ Arnold fumbled. Just the defense wasn't doing what they're supposed to do. But yet again, when it comes out the second half, Georgia Southern's defense basically takes over the game, and that's a wrap. And I wanted to see what they did in the second half. This is what they should have done, this entire game. So now we're looking at a situation where I personally feel that there is, definitely some coaching issues. I mean, there's no way around that. There are coaching issues, and those issues basically tell us that they're not getting these kids prepared completely. Yeah, I mean, you can't wait until the second quarter to start saying, "Hey, all right, we need to, turn up the juice." And even then, it's like we still put ourselves in danger with a pick six. So we got a lot of issues that we're dealing with right here where we're going to have to fix some things going into Sunbelt play. Do I like the result? Yes. Do I like I pretty much like everything after like 8 minutes of the second quarter. 8 minutes of the second quarter onward, it was a dominant performance. And I can live with that. But at the same time, this is not this type of performance is not going to get you where you want to be when it goes to playing in the Sun Belt, getting the Sun Belt title, possibly getting a respectable bowl game. That's not going to get you where you want to go. So these guys, in this locker room that are running this team are going to have to get it together because I know JMU. JMU looks pretty solid. I'm not going to sit here and say that they don't look that good, but they do. They look solid enough that they will take advantage of what happened against Maine. If we do that against JMU, we're going to have problems. It's bad enough we got to go up to JMU to play them, and they're going to want their revenge because of the fact that we beat them last week. But nevertheless, we're going to look into what happened in this game. I'm going to put this up on the screen. Hopefully this will pop up just fine. I'm pretty sure it will. I have no issue with sharing the screens. Sharing the screens is actually pretty easy for the most part. All right, and there we go right there. So let me blow this up a little more so you guys can see this. Yeah, that's perfect. 45-17, Georgia Southern wins this game. If you really want to look at the box score, the play-by-play or whatever the case may be, we're going to get into that. I want to see the scoring. That's what I want to see. Hold on, guys. There it is right there. Can you see? Yep, that's perfect. The scoring right here, it tells you everything you need to know. You look at this, the second half, once again, Georgia Southern just shuts the door. Only gives up a field goal, and that was a wrap. This is the type of defense you want to see for the rest of the season when it comes to Georgia Southern. The defense was okay for the most part in this game. I think the problem was we just gave up too many opportunities for Maine to keep this game close. That's why the game was what it was. You basically kept the game intact because you gave the ball away or you just wasn't able to put your foot on their neck from the beginning. You went 3 and out to start the game. And after that, you were, basically trying to find your way to get back in this game. And when you did, you basically shut the door on them. And at the end of the day, that's all you can, ask for, all things considered. So when you look at the stats, Georgia Southern, J.C. French went 19 of 31, 253, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. From what I'm seeing, like right now, even though that we're being pretty productive in the passing game, You don't see like that dominant performance that you saw, with Cal Van Treese, or even in some cases Davis Brin when he was here. We racked up a lot of yards in the passing game. Overall, we got 310 yards passing. Dalen Cobb had a great trick play pass, which I didn't have an issue with this particular trick play because it wasn't one of those trick plays that was messy. It was executed properly, and it kind of was done at the right time because, Maine didn't see it coming. Like some of these trick plays, you don't see it coming, but it was unnecessary. So the defense was like prepared either way. But this one was a time where you really wanted to put in a trick play and it worked. So I didn't have no issue with that one. O.J. Arnold also had a passing touchdown. Turner Hilton had one pass completed for 1 yard. Okay. And so it wasn't a dominant performance when you see from the stats, but the look at the score. I mean, the score is there. You know what I mean? And when you look at the receiving, Camden Brown, I mean, what can you say about Camden Brown? 6 of 18, 1 touchdown, 44 yards, pass was the longest. I mean, the dude has been dominant ever since he put on the Georgia Southern uniform. Even when we played against Fresno State, even when we played against USC, he was that guy. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns against USC. I mean, when we played against Fresno State, he had a touchdown there. He had a touchdown in pretty much every game that he's played. I mean, this guy's just been absolutely dominant, and he's been great. The guy who I like to see that I really like in this game from start to finish, though, was Marcus Sanders, 5 catches for 68 yards. He actually played like he wanted to be in this game from the start. Like, I know I ragged on a lot of guys from the beginning when it came to the halftime, my halftime thoughts I put on X, but at the same time, it was kind of warranted. Nobody act like they wanted to play up until like the third quarter. That's when you started seeing people actually coming in and wanting to play, and you saw the results. I mean, I guess it helped a little bit that Tyson came back after his, targeting suspension. He came back in. I'm going to look at his stats in a second, but you saw like from offensively, when you look at the rushing, the passing and the receiving, it doesn't look like it was a dominant performance. I mean, 19 to 31, in some cases, that's not going to cut it. You look at nobody had over 100 yards rushing. J.C. French was your second leading rusher. You don't want to see that. So if you look at the stat line and then ask what the score is, you're probably going to still think we won, but it's like, all right, what's going on here? Why nobody's really taking over this game? The only way you see that it actually looks like something when you do look at the passing or you look at the receiving yards, you look like some receivers are actually going in and actually making a difference. And let's look at the defense before we get into Maine's defense. Maine's stats. Justin Myers came in, 5 total tackles, 4 solo. MJ Stroud had a sack and a half. Jacob Ferguson. Brendan Harrington was almost like a no-show. That's okay. 2 tackles, 1 assisted. Brandon Tyson came in and after halftime had 1 tackle. I mean, this is basically what we had here, and it's not too bad. I mean, it's nothing that I'm going to sit here and be like, oh, this is not good. Elijah McDowell had a interception in the game that was awesome. We also had a punt, a muff punt that was recovered by us, so that helped as well. So we basically on all ends of the spectrum, we did basically better than what Maine did. Now Maine drops to 0-4. Let's look at their stats real quick. Carter PV, 13 to 22, 88 yards. I don't care what type of team you have. You're not going to win a game with 88 yards passing in this day and age. Like, you can get away with it if you were playing, our style of football back in, 2013, or before the hand, or even after 24, I'd say at least up to 2015, you could probably get away with throwing for less than 100 yards and winning games. But nowadays, it's not really viable. I mean, I know Army still kind of does it, but yeah, it's not ideal. And so Sincere Baines had 41 yards rushing. And this is the one thing that we got to give credit for. I know that Georgia Southern looked bad, at times stopping the run. Because I was frustrated like, these guys cannot stop the run. But with a team like this who rushes the ball very well, you hold their leading rusher to under 45 yards. I mean, I understand this is an FCS team, But you got to give somewhat credit where credit is due. They did okay, all things considered. I mean, when you look at these stats, like I said, it's like, man, especially if you look at their stats, it's no way that you would even think they scored 17 points. I mean, you're not getting 17 points off of this type of passing right here and this level of rushing. This looks like a game that they probably scored 3 points. So this is for Georgia Southern. I think this could be a jump off point to what they are capable of doing. Like I said, the defense wasn't that bad. I just think the offense gave Maine a lot of opportunities. I mean, they really did. They gave them a lot of opportunities, and that's where it was like, why is this game is so close? When they stopped giving away the opportunities, you saw what happened in the third and fourth quarter. The opportunities went away, or you can even say after the second quarter, you can see that they were basically outscored 38-10. So it was like you kind of got what you were looking for once the opportunities, not so when they stopped shooting themselves in the foot, you kind of got what you got here. And I do believe at the end of the day that this was a solid win. I mean, you really can't get through what you can't really look down on what we did. I guess you could look down on the first quarter. It was awful. But once they got their legs under themselves and they got their stuff together, this was a pretty good game that we basically thought the way it turned out, the way we thought it was supposed to be. You also look at the receiving for Maine, 4 catches for 25 for Rashawn Marshall. They really couldn't get nothing in the passing game. I mean, this passing game was just shut down. There was nothing going on. They had a few catches here and there, but I mean, you look at this. Your leading receiver has 25 yards. I mean, what game you're trying to win? Who's winning the game when your leading receiver has 25 yards and your leading rusher has 41 yards? What game you're winning? And like I said, it shouldn't even been as close as it was because of the fact that this is what you're dealing with, where you shoot yourselves in the foot and you just go 3 and out. You go 3 and out, 3 and out. Defensively, I don't know what to say about this defensively. I just don't know. Christian Thomas had 10 total tackles, 3 solo tackles, a couple tackles for losses for them as well. We did throw an interception, which was a pick 6, which, like I said, once again, you take that out of the equation. Now you're looking at a 45-10 or possibly a 48-10 game, because I said in the halftime, they should have just kicked the field goal instead of trying to pass it with under 2 minutes left and you're already up 17-7. Don't give them any more. Don't give them any more opportunities. But this just goes back to what I'm saying. You go back and look at the defense. The defense gives up 10 points, and we basically gave them 7 on offense. So we can talk about the defense or whatever the case may be. They still have work to do. This could be considered a less talented opponent. There's levels to this. I totally agree. But like I said, you gotta build off something. And when we really look at what happened in this game, they basically built off what they did in the last quarter against Jacksonville State. And that's all you really could ask for when you're looking at a situation like this. I'm not necessarily disappointed. I'm content, but I'm not disappointed. And I know some people may feel like, oh, this is Maine and this, that. But even with Maine, I mean, you dropped 45 on them. So it's not necessarily like they didn't do what they're supposed to do. Like this, I'm going to show this. I want to show this. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. And I get it. And I'm not against what they're saying. I totally get it. Let me show this to you guys. Let me show this to you. Let me see if I can pull this up. Can I get this? Yeah, window. Yeah, that's what I want with the window right here. This is on X right now. And I'm not mad at them for feeling this way. My teams keep letting me down. He's a Falcons fan and a Georgia Southern fan, so I get it. He said the defense made stops, but this isn't a good Maine team. I saw a lot of throws that QBs miss. O-line not getting big push in the goal line is worrisome. A win's though. And my God, Weston Bryant has had me hyped for 2027. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say this. I would not be surprised if he takes the job next year. And I would not be surprised if Weston Bryant takes the job next year. As a freshman, he looks like he's ready. He threw a, he throws the ball with confidence. He looks like he's ready to play right now. And if he keeps getting reps and he keeps learning the system, and he actually gets the system right, and he knows what to do when he's under center or when he's on the field, I like JC French, and if he's coming back next year, cool. But I don't see why you keep this kid off the field. There's no reason to keep this kid off the field if he continues to progress like he's doing. He looks like he's going to be a nightmare. And to be quite honest, I would not want to keep him on the sideline if he's doing everything correctly. Guys like Weston Bryant don't walk through the door every year. And you take advantage of that if this kid is ready to play. Weston Bryant is exactly what I thought Cam Ransom was going to be when he came here. He's exactly what I thought Cam Ransom was going to be when Cam Ransom came here. So you take advantage of having this guy on the field and let him be a sponge and learn everything. No disrespect to JC French, no disrespect to Charlie Johnston, but this kid looks like he's ready. He looks like he's ready now. So you don't wait to 2027 to put him on the field. You don't do that. But getting back to the game, I don't have too much more to say about this other than that this was a good win. I have no issue with what we have here. I truly believe that if we build on this and we play against JMU, which I want to look up the JMU game because I didn't see them look that good against Liberty. They probably did. I didn't watch the rest of the game. I watched it when I think I watched it up to halftime. I was out and about with my son out, and I watched it on my tablet. But we went to go get something to eat, and that was right. I totally just forgot about watching the JMU Liberty game. So I want to see what they actually did. Did they win this game? I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, they ended up winning the game because it was a close game at one point, but like they ran away from this game, and I'm not surprised. I mean, James Madison is a very good team, so we got to look at it like this. You go in there and you literally gotta have that defense that you had for the past 5 quarters. The offense is just gonna have to get it together. The offense is gonna have to get it together. We do not need to have a situation where we're dropping passes, fumbling the ball, and this, that, and the third. I get it. Even with Maine, I get it. These guys go down the field and score on their first drive. We gotta understand that a lot of these games are that way. These first drives for a lot of offenses are very scripted, and it kind of sets the tone, but it's how you bounce back after that first drive. It tells you what type of game this is going to be. And I'm going to be honest, Georgia Southern did okay bouncing back. They did okay bouncing back. Did I think they could have done better? Yeah, absolutely. But I think they did a good job bouncing back. So I feel like at the end of the day, going up to James Madison is going to be tough. But if Georgia Southern plays like they did the last couple of games, well, preferably the last 5 quarters that they played, that fourth quarter against Jacksonville State, that wasn't a fluke because they came back in and only gave up 10 points, which this is exactly what you would expect when they play against a team like this. You hold them to 10 points and you put up 45 offensively, where the offense finally wakes up in the second half. It is what it is. But when you're looking at this, you just need to carry that over and see if you can squeak one out against James Madison. Because that's not an easy place to win. I think they only had like 5 losses in the last, 10 years? They had like 5 losses in the last 10 years at that stadium. And the last time we played them, we got ran off the field and they dropped 41 points on us. So we just gotta look forward to the next game. Just look forward to the next game, and hopefully these guys get prepared. And um, I don't have faith in Brandon Bailey's defense of scheme that much, but I will give them credit that for the past game in one quarter, they've done exactly what I've been wanting them to do. They basically gave up only 13 points in 5 quarters. I'm not mad at that, albeit 4 of those quarters was against Maine. You still did your job. You did your job. I mean, any other FBS team that goes up against Maine probably would have done the same thing. Give up only 10 points against Maine in a game like this. So I'm not. I can't be discouraged by what I see. If you tell me that Georgia Southern's going to give up Georgia Southern defense, because I'm not going to count the pick six. I'm not going to count. That's not on defense. I'm not going to count the pick six. But if you're going to tell me that Georgia Southern's defense gives up 13 points in the last 5 quarters, I'm not really going to be mad at that. I think anybody would be okay with that. Let me look at this really quick. Let me see something. And if we really want to be honest, they gave up 20 points in the last 6 quarters. In the last game and a half, they gave up 20 points. So and if you really want to look at the Jacksonville State game, if you go back to 5 quarters, they literally only gave up 10 points in 5 quarters. I'm not going to be discouraged about that, because they put down a goose egg in the 4th quarter of last game. And even with this game, tonight, they only gave up 3 points in a half. I appreciate everybody who came through and watched this. Georgia Southern dominates Maine 45-17. I wish the offense would get a little bit cleaner and not give up too many opportunities, get their act together. I wish they would do that. But the defense, I can't rag on the defense tonight. I can't. I really can't. They gave up 10 points. They held this team to under 100 and something yards, 130 yards passing, 109 yards rushing. So basically they gave up less than 240, 250 yards. I can't be mad about that. I can't. But I'm going to get up out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I really appreciate you guys. And I definitely will see y'all on the next one. We will be doing more content. We'll be talking some Atlanta Falcons because they play against Carolina. And that's going to be interesting to see as well. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. I'm out. Peace.